Hello everyone, it's me Bryson P and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be checking out why Scandinavia is so expensive, and this is a video by CNBC International. This video is about just a little over 3 years old. Tomorrow though, which is Monday, is going to be package day. I know that I have a package waiting because I seen that I had a little tag that there was an article waiting. So, that being said, the next video after this will be a package opening from somebody that graciously sent something to me from wherever, because I do not know. We will find that out together. So, without further ado, let's get into why Scandinavia is so expensive and find out why, since I'm going to be planning a trip to Scandinavia and to the countries there. So, since I'm going to be doing that, I definitely want to figure out maybe why it's so expensive and get some feedback also and start planning a trip, That way I have plenty of time. Here we go.
Tack. Across Scandinavia, the average price of everything from a knitted roll neck to pastries from the local bakery are some of the highest in the world. Scandinavia is a region in Northern Europe that was historically made up of three kingdoms: Norway, Sweden and Denmark. They're united by their Viking heritage, but also their shared reputation as one of the most expensive regions to live and visit.
I am going to do a video on the Vikings. I just haven't got to that yet, but I am interested in the Viking heritage and history of the Vikings, so I will have a video for that here sometime in the future.
Whether it's buying a car or a TV, consumers in Scandinavia pay some of the highest prices in the world. Even buying groceries is costly, with all three countries' food and drink prices above the European average. All three countries also have a standard VAT rate of 25%. Amongst all the European nations, only Hungary has a higher rate. Heading to the bar is also pretty pricey. In Norway, having a beer or glass of wine will cost 2.5 times the EU average. Both Norway and Sweden have state-run monopolies on alcohol, which helps keep the prices up. This social market model, rather than a liberal market model like in the US, is common across Scandinavia and helps explain why the cost of living is so high.
Now we have figured that out, and I've learned that over the course of a few videos about the alcohol and the monopoly that you guys have on the liquor, especially the alcohol percentages and what can and can't be in certain stores.
Scandinavian countries have large welfare states, with their social expenditures as a percentage of GDP among the highest in the world. This requires high levels of taxation. Sweden has a top rate of personal income tax of over 60%, while Denmark's is more than 55%, both of which are well above the OECD average. In Denmark, if you want to buy a car, you have to pay anywhere between 85 and 150% tax on top of the cost of the vehicle, and the taxes don't stop there. Let's say I want to buy a sweater in Denmark. I pay 300 kroner for it, but how much of that money actually goes to the vendor? Well, first there's the 25% VAT, leaving the seller with 240 kroner. The clothes shop also has to pay a minimum 22% of corporate income tax. That means that a big portion of the money I paid for my sweater goes to the Danish government. Not to mention there's a hefty payroll tax on employees' wages, and the store still has to pay for rent, electricity and cleaning, all of which are taxed too. These taxes mean that for Scandinavian businesses to make a profit, they need to charge their consumers high prices. For some companies, this has proved too much of a burden for their business model. The world's biggest furniture company, IKEA, was founded in Sweden, but has moved its headquarters to the Netherlands. Through corporate restructuring, the business is now owned by a non-profit Dutch parent company, in part due to the high taxes in Sweden. But according to some experts,
so with all the taxes you guys pay and the way they broke down that tax bracketing system, and I'll actually go back to it here real quick. Okay, with all the taxes that's paid between the value-added taxes, the corporate income tax, the payroll taxes, and everything else, whenever the majority of us in the United States look at that, they see all these taxes and they see the benefits that you have as far as the healthcare, the education system, and a lot of other benefits that we don't have or that we have to pay for that we've discussed in other videos. We look at that the majority of us look at that as those taxes and being, paying people more, such as the higher minimum wage of in the $20 range and all those things. We see that as that's exactly why we don't want this, because of all the extra taxes, and we're left, paying so much more and only really getting a little bit less. This is part of learning and understanding and growing, part of why your taxes are the way that they are, or the way that your money is the way that it is.
But according to some experts, Scandinavia's social democrat tendencies have led to a strong social cohesion and has helped provide political stability. This in turn has made their economy safe havens for outside investors, which is one reason why the Danish, Swedish and Norwegian currencies, called krona, are so strong. This can be tough on tourists, with the exchange rate doing them no favours. If the cost of living in Scandinavia is so expensive, why then are its citizens some of the happiest in the world? In the past 5 years, Scandinavian countries have regularly topped the World Happiness Report. That's an index that measures overall life satisfaction based on different contributing factors. Some experts attribute these high satisfaction levels with Scandinavia's large welfare state, which they say ensures financial security, job security and economic distribution. In return for high taxes, citizens get free state education, very cheap childcare, a functioning public transport and a free health service. But a large and expensive social welfare state doesn't necessarily mean the best. For example, Norway is the only Scandinavian country that ranks in the top 10 for adult education levels amongst OECD countries. And yet...
Yeah, Finland is in there too. Wasn't Finland just a little bit higher? Barely. So, don't worry. I'm coming. Norway and Finland. I've got some videos coming for you guys too, because I like y'all just as much.
Scandinavians remain happy with the status quo, living within a social corporatist economy that provides reliable economic welfare. Having a beer at the end of the day does cost a small fortune, but for people living and working in Scandinavia, high prices provide a quality of life that's worth paying for.
But you're also paid accordingly. See, we look at this, and a lot of times it's someone who doesn't know the pay and the way that you guys are, the amount that you're paid, right? Just for the simple jobs. We look at this typically and see, it costs this much, or, this much and this much, and we make a big deal about it. But you don't realize that, well, that's because I'm making $9 an hour for the same job that you're making $22 an hour for. So it offsets that, you know what I'm saying? It has that offset. But a lot of times you don't see that because you don't think of that, because you've not understood or learned that yet. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So that's what I've learned up to this point, and which helps me see this type of video and see where there's some parts that need definitely some more explanation. So anyways, I'm excited for tomorrow because I'm ready to see this box and find out who it's from, where it's from, and everything, and what's in it, what it could taste like, and what it could be. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. It's me, Bryson P. Have a good day, have a good night, whatever time it is that you see this. Bye.